Tonight on News 5 Live, concerns are raised in the absence of a Senate minister ahead of the first meeting of the Upper House for the new year. The opposition senator invokes the Freedom of Information Act in search of answers regarding the Port of Belize acquisition. And a 6-year-old primary school student falls ill. The Ministry of Health is investigating whether it is another case of meningitis. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
V-Bucks and get a chance to win a $10,000 homecation with Benny's. Quality and savings.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. They carry a vast array of products at unbeatable prices. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at the V. Conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
13,835,700 eggs are eaten by tourists each year, fueling our thriving economy. Tourism means business.
My name is Denise Mala. I had an aunt, one of my mom's sister, that we believe died from cancer. She was relatively young. And my sister passed from cervical cancer. I have been doing annual checkups. Recently, after one of the annual checkups, I noticed, a change in one of my breasts. I went for the next checkup earlier and I brought it to the attention of my treating doctor. He looked at it and he said he didn't like what he was seeing. A biopsy was requested and then the biopsy came back positive. When you first find out these things, you think about a lot of things and then eventually it comes around to the finance. I recalled this insurance, critical illness insurance that I had that I was paying. And that was probably the first time I read that contract. I read it in its entirety. And then I recognized that, this is going to assist me. I called the office, spoke with my agent. He was very helpful, guided me through what I needed to do. So I went through the process and I communicated with him a couple of times, and he just informed me what was happening. In a pretty short period of time, I was paid my insurance. This plan that I had been paying for many years, in my time of need, that came through for me. Having that insurance helped me significantly. It is absolutely something that everyone should consider, because you never know when you're going to need it.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, January 31st. I am Sabrina Daly. Michael Perifete, the chairman of the United Democratic Party, is tonight saying that the government of Belize is in contravention of the standing orders of the Senate, following the resignation of Senator Eamon Courtney as a minister of government. The first sitting of the Senate for 2024 is set for February 8th. And Senator Courtney's resignation from cabinet means that he is no longer a government minister. According to Senator Perifete, the standing orders of the Senate states that a number of government business, including motions and bills in the Senate, can only be passed with the support of a minister in the Senate. Senator Perifete has written to the President of the Senate, Carolyn Sandiford, informing her of the situation. In his letter, he says, quote, "The situation is quite vexing and requires rectification before we can sit and have a legal Senate meeting on February 8th, unquote. We spoke with Senator Perifete, who is demanding that Prime Minister John Briceño place a minister in the Senate.
Under the standing orders of the Senate, certain things can only be done by a minister. With the resignation of Senator Courtney from the cabinet effective January 1st, I believe, the Senate has no minister, which then in my view makes it impossible for you to move certain bills through the Senate. Public business, government business, motions and money businesses, in my view, cannot be moved through the Senate by a regular senator. You must be a minister. Therefore, with the Senate meeting scheduled for February 8th and no minister there, I have written to the President of the Senate to indicate to her that we have an issue. How can, for example, Standing Order 21.3 says that government business shall consist of motions proposed to be made and bills sponsored by ministers and shall be set down in such order as the government thinks fit. Order 22 states that no public money bill can be discussed without a minister. It says as follows: except on the recommendation or with the consent of the cabinet, to be signified by a minister and recorded in the minutes of proceedings. The Senate has no minister. And so government business, public money business cannot be decided upon with a Senate that has no minister. No, I don't care if it was done 1,000 times before the wrong way. Bad precedent doesn't make good law. It doesn't matter by whom it was done. I am saying that we are here now. We are present now in the Senate now. And certain things cannot move without a minister. I'm alerting the president to this fact because I plan to raise it if between now and February 8th, the prime minister doesn't put a minister in the Senate.
Are Senator Parafit and the United Democratic Party being hypocritical about their concern? Reporters challenged Parafit on a similar occurrence under the previous administration. He was also asked what the opposition side of the Senate will do if a minister is not appointed by February 8th. Here is how he responded.
Well, I certainly won't punch a wall and try to blame the police. For sure, I won't do that. No, we don't walk out. I'm not going to walk out on the people's business. But I'll put this to the president, send this letter to the president. On that day, if they still insist on proceeding, I will remind the president in session, and whatever the president rules, she rules. If she rules that, no, let's proceed, well, then we proceed. And then the United Democratic Party reserves its options and its rights. It is something that they did not think about. It is something in their haste to move and act, whatever inspired them to act this way, to leave us with a situation currently that we have no minister in the Senate. And certain businesses, government businesses, can only be moved by a minister. I don't care how it was done before. I don't care if it was wrong or treated as right before. The fact of the matter is, this is not correct in my view and from my reading of the standing orders. It's not correct. And I think what the Prime Minister needs to do is to put a minister in the Senate.
The UDP's rank hypocrisy on this, because this is something the UDP did with Doug Singh not long ago, quite recently. And so here it is again. I mean, you all are the ones who established the precedent.
It cannot be rank hypocrisy if I've already told you that it was wrong then, and it would be wrong now. And I wasn't in the Senate then, or I would have pointed that out. I wasn't in government then. I played no part in the National Assembly at that time. So I don't see how that applies to me or how that can be hypocritical on my part.
Senator Parafit also invoked the Freedom of Information Act in pursuit of further details regarding the Port of Belize reacquisition. Today, Parafit wrote to Prime Minister John Bersenio asking if any private individuals, entities or companies were hired by the government of Belize to facilitate the reacquisition process. The letter also questions the payments that were made to these entities, if any. We heard from Senator Parafit on that letter.
It's a simple question. It's too simple and too precise. So I am almost confident that the Prime Minister will float the law and not answer. But I have a responsibility to ask it. There was an acquisition by the Port of Belize back to the government from the Ashcroft crowd. And we want to know how much it's going to cost us besides what we have to pay to the Ashcroft group. In other words, then, were private people hired, consultants hired? Who are those people and how much we paid them? It's taxpayers' money. We have a right to know, and they have not been forthcoming with that information. If you use the AG's ministry's crumbs to negotiate the deal, then naturally it's no additional cost to government other than what you're already paying them. But if you paid private attorneys, if you paid private consultants, if you paid anybody other than the financial secretary or the minister of finance, we want to know what other entities or individuals the government of Belize paid and how much they paid them to close this deal.
Coming up, victim in stable condition after Nurse Findlay Crescent shooting. We'll have more details when we come back.
Look at them dancing on the stage. Listen to them beg for your votes in March. When they were given the chance, they did nothing for San Pedro. How did the UDP do when they were in town hall in San Pedro? Let's ask Jules.
I know what Iman used to say, UDP was running the man like a banana shop. This was running like a crack house. This was running like a crack house.
Today, San Pedro is once again thriving under the PUP. Business is booming. Residents are thriving. There is development everywhere, and your money is well managed with transparency and accountability. We don't want to go back to a crack house town hall. We're saying no to the UDP. In San Pedro and in every municipality, we to stay up on track with the PUP.
Yo, time to put in the work, man. This is our year. Are you ready, Belize?
Well, my name is Ismail Florian. I work at Caribbean Sprinter. I'm the station manager for Keycocker. I downloaded DigiWallet since at work we use it, and my boss actually was the one that told me to download DigiWallet. I use it every week, especially to buy top-up and now and then to buy groceries. Live for Free is going to help me with everything since I'm not having to pay anything for 1 year. Well, I chose Mr. Valencia Teol. I chose him as my person to pay it forward to. I really chose him because back in the day he used to help me out, so I'm just trying to help back our friend.
Do you want a chance to live for free like me? Just download and use the DigiWallet app. Thank you, Digi.
So what have they been doing for 3 years? Point to me one project that they have done in San Pedro.
Yeah, boy.
Year 1, from DFC, San Pedrito, San Mateo, the upgrading of our streets, the filling of new materials and compacting.
Show me a road, a bridge, any project that the PUP has started and finished or even just started.
Here I come.
We started and completed a brand new bridge for our lovely people of La Isla Bonita.
Nice.
Nothing. That's the problem.
Stop it. Get some help.
By year 2, we're already buying new trucks to make it easier for our sanitation workers.
We're starting by equipment and buying more equipment to upgrade the street for our people. Paving it forward began in year 2 and it continues every day.
Because they've done nothing in the 3 years. They have done nothing.
$2,251,000 slices of watermelon are eaten by tourists each year in Belize, benefiting local farmers and processors directly. Tourism means business.
Whenever the PUP is in charge, there is always mismanagement, and the people of Punta Gorda know this all too well. This time around, it is the PUP councillors themselves who blew the whistle on their own mayor.
PG Town councillors alleged money mismanagement within their own council.
This is signed by 5 town councillors saying that there are financial irregularities in our council.
They have now switched from Charles Salgado to Carlos Obia. But this is the same Carlos Obia Galvez who was in charge in 2008 when town councillors claimed the PUP mayor we have has been mismanaging our funds and he has been spending our money as if it is his own personal money. The mayor has run up our overdraft to 33,000 and the capacity approved by the Ministry of Finance for us at the bank is 15,000. They further accused Obia Galvez of racking up an excessive $4,000 fuel bill, almost a fifth of their monthly subvention in just over a month, allegedly for use in his private taxi and tour business. And they claim Galvez's wife had signed for fuel on the council's account, which Galvez eventually acknowledged. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Punta Gorda has had enough of the PUP. It is time to elect Franklin Cranca Polonio and the UDP team. Belize is always better with the United Democratic Party.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
On Tuesday night around 8:45 p.m., a man was shot while socializing at the entrance of Nurse Findlay Crescent in Belize City. 31-year-old Javan Abraham sustained an injury to his arm, but was released from the hospital in stable condition earlier today. For more on the story, we spoke with Abraham and his family this afternoon. News 5's Brittany Gordon reports.
In the wrong place at the wrong time. That is the conclusion 31-year-old Javan Abraham came to when asked about the recent attempt made on his life. The Leadership Intervention Unit employee stated that he was visiting a mechanic to ask for assistance with his car just a few houses down from his own residence when 2 men on a motorcycle approached them and fired shots at the pair. Abraham received 1 bullet wound to his upper region of his left arm and was subsequently rushed to the hospital. Abraham's girlfriend, who was at their home at the time, recounted the events of that night.
Actually, he never hang out. He just gonna talk to a young man or a mechanic. So he gonna talk to the young man, and like I said, he bring food for we. Gonna back to the lane, not even 10 minutes, and then that happened. So, and I really know what going on. If that was intended, somebody intention to come for somebody in a yard itself or the yard there, but I don't really know.
She stated that the incident transpired so quickly, she was unable to get a clear look at the perpetrators as they rode by.
10 minutes, he did the lane and I walked across the street, gone inside, and I even reaching in the hospital and I just see the shots there. So I'm kind of curious about it. So I come back to the gate. When I come back to the gate, I hear like the cycle come. So I don't really bust the gate. I just stand right at the gate and watch the guys there pass, then I come outside. But by the time we reach, he me done, gone, so we just jump in our car and hospital.
Abraham says that he was rushed to the hospital by a police officer who was on security duty at a shop nearby. Abraham's girlfriend stated that the street light where the shooting occurred often malfunctions, causing the area to be dark at nighttime. Abraham said that while his hands have suffered some nerve damage from the bullet wound, he is recovering well and plans to rest while the police continue with the investigation. No suspects have been charged at this time. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Tonight, a Belize City youth is on remand at the Belize Central Prison after he allegedly attempted to shoot two men on East Collet Canal. Allegations are that on Saturday, 20-year-old Jaleel Craig pointed a firearm at Norris Patnett and Norman Grant while they were in the area. Patnett told police that Grant got into the driver's seat of a vehicle, and while he was making his way to the passenger seat, Craig allegedly rode up to them on a bicycle and pulled a firearm from his waist. Patnett further alleged that Craig pulled the trigger, but the gun snapped. Patnett says he ran for cover, and Craig allegedly pulled the trigger a second time, but the firearm failed to discharge once again. According to the men, Craig then rode off into George Street. Quick police response led to his arrest. This morning, Craig appeared before a senior magistrate where he pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Due to the nature of the offenses, bail was denied and Craig was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until March. On Friday, we reported that 37-year-old Dimas Sansores, a medical doctor from Keycocker Village, is seeking legal action against businessman Amado Badillo, whom he claims accepted payments from him for the purchase of a 2020 Ford Ranger pickup. The transactions were done on the 18th and 20th of April 2023, respectively, and amounted to 65,000 Belize dollars. To date, Badillo, the proprietor of Prestige Auto Sales, has been unable to deliver the vehicle that Sansores has paid for, despite making several promises that the customer would have received the pickup truck before Christmas of last year. In an update to that story, News 5 understands that the Director of Public Prosecutions has instructed that a charge of theft be brought against Badillo, since he has not been able to provide proof that he has purchased the vehicle, nor has he returned the money that he accepted from Dr. Sansores as payment for the vehicle. But that is not the first time that customers of Prestige Auto Sales have felt slighted as a result of dubious transactions conducted by Badillo. In fact, News 5 has uncovered at least 3 claim forms for legal action brought against the auto dealer. These forms are all public records. On July 25, 2023, Badillo was sued by Marico Barro for the outstanding balance for the sale of a Kia vehicle. Legal fees, as well as interest occurred in monthly interest for late payments from April 2021 through to June 2023. The claim amounted to roughly $50,000, notwithstanding cost or relief from the court. Then on November 16, 2023, Badillo was once again sued by Elmer Torres for a total of $52,432 for the sale of 2 motor vehicles that were owned by the claimant. The damages followed a breach of contract made in writing between both parties on February 13, 2023. Then on January 23rd of this year, a claim was filed against Badillo by Sylvia Catus for the sale of a Toyota Highlander belonging to Catus. In that case, Badillo eventually paid Catus the monies owed to her after 3 years of pursuing payment from the businessman. We'll continue to follow this story. There's much more news after the break, so stay with us.
We're not screening properly people who are applying and being accepted as police officers.
Some hot air balloons are bigger than others, but that doesn't change what comes out. It's still all hot air. This man was UDP Minister of Police, believe it or not. Under the UDP, all persons entering the police department needed was a recommendation from a UDP minister. That's it. No other screening necessary. The murder rate was consistently high, breaking records. Belize was considered one of the most dangerous countries in the world. And still, they talk and talk and talk. Under this government, recruits go through intensive screening and must pass academic, physical, and psychological testing. This year's murder rate of 19.1 is the second lowest this century. Only 2000 was lower with 17.2, also under a PUP administration.
purge needs to happen.
You, Mr. Perifeet, need a purge. And the country will purge the UDP again in March. In March, in every municipality, ignore the hot air. Stay on track with the PUP.
The Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing advises the public on how to properly use the roundabout at the new Haulover Bridge. When coming in from the Philip Goldson International Airport or Ladyville, stay in the right lane. Slow down at the pedestrian crossing, then pause at the yield line. When clear, exit the roundabout and take the first exit to continue to Belize City. Or, if your destination is the residential subdivision, take the third exit instead. When leaving the marina or nearby areas, yield, then circle to the third exit to Belize City. When driving from Belize City, slow down before entering the pedestrian crossing. Then, yield at the roundabout. When clear, proceed through the roundabout to continue north. When going to the marina, circle the roundabout completely, passing 3 exits before taking the Marina Road. Remember, the speed limit for the roundabout is 25 miles per hour. Stay alert and drive safely on the new Haulover Bridge.
Bernard Wagner cannot pick up the garbage. He cannot fix the streets. He cannot maintain the drains.
We have to do a better job maintaining the drains.
He cannot even pay city council workers.
The other day, we had to bail out the Belize City Council. They were short of $100,000. They could not pay their salaries, and central government paid them.
But he can spend almost $250,000 on a concert, most of it on a foreign artist, and find it funny.
I like Rongdong.
Okay.
Nobody elected Wagner and the PUP council to throw concerts. They were elected to fix the streets, maintain the drains, and keep the city clean. If they cannot do the job they were elected for, then they should follow the advice of Abelardo Mai.
Find something else to do.
And Belize City voters must heed the advice of Wagner's own deputy.
We need to go a different direction. The city needs a breath of fresh air, needs new leadership.
The city needs new leadership. The country needs new leadership. The time is now.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
A Belize City primary school student has reportedly been diagnosed with meningitis. Today, the principal of Holy Redeemer Primary School, Leticia Waite, circulated a notice to parents and guardians of the school's lower division to advise that the Infant 1 student was present at school on Monday for the morning session and that the school was informed of the child's diagnosis today. As a precautionary exercise, the class that the student is in was asked to remain at home today, and the parents of those students have been asked to monitor their children. Additionally, the school advised parents and guardians of any child that shows signs of intense headache, nausea and vomiting, stiff neck, rashes, diarrhea and fever to seek medical attention for these children. The school assures that it follows all health protocols and hence has sanitized the classrooms and restrooms at the school. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has also issued a press release on this latest case of meningitis, the first such case that has shown up in Belize City. The ministry release states that it is conducting further tests and implementing recommended measures in schools and among individuals who had contact with the child. The ministry's Central Health Region is also leading the implementation of the preventative measures. The ministry informs that the preliminary lab result on the 6-year-old suggests that she does not have bacterial meningitis and that she is currently in good health. The ministry acknowledges the support of the Ministry of Education in implementing water, sanitation, and hygiene practices and in implementing heightened surveillance of ill children in school. The Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs has issued an update on the draft Maya customary land tenure. The government of Belize is inviting dialogue and says that it is prepared to discuss key aspects of the draft Maya customary land tenure policy, particularly paragraph 5. As we reported, the section of the document has been met with strong objection from the Toledo Alcaldes Association and the Maya Leaders Alliance. Here's more from a recorded statement issued by the government.
The government of Belize, in consultation with all Maya communities of the Toledo district, has now reached this stage of proposing delimitation of the villages in terms of their boundaries. Therefore, the Ministry of Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs, through continuing consultations, invite dialogue and is prepared to discuss key aspects of the draft policy, particularly paragraph 5. Paragraph 5 of the draft Maya customary land tenure policy proposes a conceptual model for Maya villages to apply for areas of land within either 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, or 3 kilometers of the center of their villages to be automatically registered as Maya customary lands. This automatic registration would mean that this limitation would not require proof of customary use and occupation. The draft also allows for the application for additional lands to be registered beyond these limitations once villages can show evidence or proof of customary land use and occupation. The draft also makes provision for negotiations to take place with third parties who may already have private lands located within the boundaries of the areas to be automatically registered as Maya customary land. This means that the government keeps the door open for input and mutual agreement by all interested parties before going to a legislative phase. We emphasize that the government is not limiting communal lands to 1 kilometer. Our government and ministry call for respectful consultations and not hasty misinterpretations as we work on the implementation of the Caribbean Court of Justice ruling.
On Tuesday, we reported that an application for leave without pay by the United Democratic Party's Belmopan mayoral candidate, Jacqueline Burns, was rejected by the Teaching Services Commission. Burns, a teacher at Belmopan Comprehensive High School, has since written the appeals tribunal regarding the denial of the application, which sought time for Burns to campaign in her city ahead of the March 6th municipal elections. Earlier today, we caught up with Minister of Education Francis Fonseca and sought his position on the matter.
The TSC is, by law, an independent entity, authority. I imagine you'd have to speak with the chair of the TSC, but I really don't know anything about that matter. All I would say is that, we're not above the rules and we're not below the rules. Everybody should be treated fairly. But if you can't be, just because you're running for politics doesn't mean you're exempt from certain rules. So I don't know what the particulars of those cases are. But I would imagine, campaigning, I don't see why you have to campaign during school time.
Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca has also weighed in on recent developments in the Kenyan High Court regarding a humanitarian mission to Haiti. A team of 50 Belize Defense Force soldiers is presently training with their Canadian counterparts ahead of the mission. But a lot hangs in the balance now that the Kenyan government hasn't received the green light to proceed with the mission. According to Minister Fonseca, there are a number of logistical considerations and loose ends to be tied up at home before we send our soldiers to Haiti.
As you know, Belize is committed to joining the CARICOM, what they call the Multinational Security Support Mission. So Belize has already made that commitment, but obviously there are a number of outstanding issues that have to be cleared up. You know, the whole logistics of the mission, the financing of the mission. There has been a lot of talk about financing the mission, but there had been no, final discussions about how it will be financed. That's a concern for all of us in CARICOM. The exit strategy, so there are outstanding issues. Belize is committed to participating, but obviously we want to ensure that if we send our soldiers into Haiti, that they will be safe, that we will not be sending them into a situation where they are, going to lose their lives or be injured. So there are a number of outstanding issues, as I said.
If the decision of the Kenyan High Court stands, would Belize be prepared to follow another country's lead in terms of this humanitarian mission to Haiti?
Yeah, well, that's a hypothetical. So, I don't want to answer that. It all depends on who that country is. And of course, the other issues remain pertinent and remain relevant. Who will finance the mission? What are the logistical arrangements that will ensure success for the mission? What is the exit strategy if we do go into Haiti? It's an absolute crisis, nightmare in Haiti right now. The country is effectively run by 3 or 4 gangs who have effectively divided up the country among themselves.
When we return, anti-corruption declaration introduced.
Design Depot, your all-in-one destination for transforming your living spaces. Explore the world of GE with our selection of cutting-edge appliances for functional, convenient, and modern living. Find solutions for every paint project, from home to industrial, with our extensive selection of Sherwin-Williams paints and coatings. Safeguard your home with the durability of our weather-resistant windows and doors. Elevate your kitchen and bath with the timeless elegance of Kohler sinks and faucets. Transform your space with our constantly refreshed tile inventory, always embracing the latest tile trends. Design Depot, your source for innovation, inspiration, and impeccable design. Design Depot, all in one place.
Corruption and contention has been the order of the day in all municipal governments controlled by the PUP, and the Benque Viejo Town Council is no exception. Back in June 2023, evidence emerged of serious financial irregularities, specifically regarding issuance of checks. A report produced by public officers at Ministry of Local Government revealed that the mayor and sometimes his driver would on some of their out-district trips take blank checks to acquire purchases for the council. But there is no accounting of what exactly the money is spent on. As with Punta Gorda, the minister and the prime minister looked the other way, even after the opposition UDP publicly called them out. Also, as with Punta Gorda and Belmopan, there has been major infighting among the Benque Viejo PUP mayor and councillors.
But the very own councillors who are attacking the council.
If Bresenio and his government will not do anything about it, then it is time for the people to take action. On March 6, put an end to all the corruption and contention in PUP councils countrywide. Vote them out. In Benque Viejo, elect Marco Tessucum and the UDP team to restore honesty and fiscal responsibility. Belize is always better with the United Democratic Party.
Daddy, buy me one consomme.
Mr. Sam, Mr. Sam.
You want egg? Oh, you want coral consomme.
Aha.
Coral Consomme. The best taste and the best price. Less fat, more flavor. Taste the savings. Love the flavor.
Available at your favorite supermarkets near you.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
There is an anti-corruption declaration in place that relevant parties from the public and private sectors met late last year to formulate. Today, that declaration was introduced to the public after the leaders of the various parties, including the president of the Public Service Union, Dean Flowers, attached their names to the document. The declaration is a set of principles that guide how we can improve governance in Belize on a whole, in order to ensure that good governance is the order of the day. It's a message not only to the government, but to the political parties that they had better adhere to good governance and transparency. Today, the Minister of the Public Service said that they did not only get the message, but agree that this is a necessary step in the right direction. Marian Ali was present when the relevant parties attached their signatures to the document and filed this report.
Today, several persons representing the public and private sectors attached their signatures to an anti-corruption declaration that their organization or entity worked on as a guide to good governance practices. The Minister of Public Service, Henry Charles Usher, said that the Good Governance Unit within that ministry spearheaded the project because of the need to have good governance front and center of the way we do business, particularly in the public sector.
We need to enforce what the principles are in this declaration, and that's why it was important that the government established a good governance unit, because that unit is the focal point for all good governance initiatives in the government. We have to make sure that we look at all legislation, we look at all the areas, and we have to be able to train public officers to identify areas that may be weak, controls that maybe need to be put in place.
A lot of good governance requirements, however, rely on legislation, some of which still have not been enacted.
The legislation on protected disclosures that has already been introduced. We have other legislation protecting witnesses. We have legislation dealing with other areas that are in this declaration. But the areas that we don't have the legislation yet, we have to work with the Attorney General, with the substantive ministry to get those legislations in place. The Good Governance Unit has been looking at different campaign finance laws in the region, throughout the world, to do a comparison and see what best would work in Belize. They've also been reviewing the proposal sent by the Belize Chamber of Commerce on campaign finance, and we hope to have a paper soon on that can go to cabinet and hopefully then get into legislation.
One of the signatories to the declaration was the president of the Public Service Union, Dean Flowers, on behalf of his union members. He told News 5 that when the whistleblowers legislation is enacted, it will provide a medium through which anyone can make a complaint of corruption in the public service.
It is that any member of the public is trying to access service
and they're being requested to pay, if there is any solicitation of any kind, it is important that the Belizean people understand you must document that in writing, reduce that solicitation in writing to the head of department, to the union. We will be an agency, once the whistleblowers legislation is introduced, through which public officers or members of the public can come to lodge their complaint when it is that they're being solicited unfairly, whether it be by our immigration officers, our custom officers, our traffic wardens. It doesn't matter.
Flowers pointed out that to not address corruption from now would make the situation worse for our children.
If we continue along the path that we're going, the victims of this will not be us, because currently we look for instant gratification. But we do not understand that the foundation that we're laying will be a very sad one and a very bad one for our children and our grandchildren, who might not even have the luxury of accessing these departments without paying a bribe.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
A trade mission to Belize led by the Minister of Trade and Industry of Trinidad and Tobago held a business seminar this morning in Belize City. During the meeting, remarks were delivered by Prime Minister John Bersenio, as well as Foreign Trade Minister Francis Fonseca. But what is the strength of Belize's trade relations with its CARICOM brothers and sisters? That's what we asked the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade earlier today.
Our trade relations with the entire region, the CARICOM region, is small but growing. It's an important market for us, the CARICOM market. With Trinidad, I think we export around $97 million, so it's not insignificant, but certainly we would want to see it grow and expand. So we're very, very thrilled to have this delegation led by the Minister of Trade. Here in Belize, as she said, they brought in about 34 people, some very significant investors in the manufacturing sector, in the agricultural sector, in Trinidad. So I think there's great potential for us collaborating and great opportunities for economic investment in Belize that I'm very excited about, and I know our team at the Ministry of Foreign Trade is very excited about. So we, after this, I will hold discussions with the minister, and we will get into more details about specific areas, particularly agriculture, but also, the whole area of the manufacturing sector. You all know that we have talked about this for a long time in Belize, that we have not been able to develop a manufacturing sector in Belize, canning of goods, canning of fruits. We talk about these things, but I think there's a real opportunity with Trinidad's help and support that we can achieve this objective. So we look forward to those discussions.
As many as 34 men and women are part of the trade mission to Belize. And according to the Minister of Trade and Industry, it is time for Belize and Trinidad to refresh trade relations between both countries.
So we brought to Belize a very strong mission of about 34 persons and 24 businesses, large, small and medium-sized businesses as well. This is an important occasion for us. I'll tell you why. We came here a long time ago. So Trinidad and Tobago did in fact bring missions to Belize. However, we haven't done so for a while. And I think it's important that we reset and we refresh those trading relations, especially in terms of our CARICOM commitments, to see if we can deepen the trade and investment relations between our both countries. As it is, Belize is a strong trading partner within the region for us. They are fourth in line, and there are a number of products from Belize that we import in terms of your citrus products, oranges, concentrates really, and grapefruit, pineapple concentrates as well, and also red beans, and I believe there are a few other types of beans as well. We feel that there are other things that we can import from Belize, but Trinidad has on offer. As you know, we have a vibrant manufacturing sector, so we do feel that there are a number of items that we can export to Belize. But generally, it's about increasing our trade and relations, and of course, deepening our bilateral relations, which is already strong.
The sharp increase in the cost of goods and services is a global phenomena in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine. Inflation continues to cripple economies across the world, including Trinidad and Tobago. But how is that Caribbean island nation dealing with the steep increase in basic commodities? Here's what the Minister of Trade and Industry shared with reporters earlier today.
Food inflation is a global problem, and it's something that we have to understand. We are strong importers still, despite the fact that we do produce as well. But we envy you, because I know that in COVID, that Belizeans could have had everything they wanted right here in Belize, so that you're pretty much self-sufficient with a lot of good meats and vegetables and fruits and rice, I think, and so on. Trinidad is deepening its activities in the agricultural sector. We all have on board that commitment to reduce our food imports by 25% by 25. So Trinidad and Tobago has engaged in a lot of production, in production of various products like rice and cassava and so on. But again, we do not have the blessing that you have in the land space, and therefore you being able to do more agricultural products. We would never have that. We're very small, land is a finite thing, but we can do a lot together. And we still can produce more in Trinidad, but I think that together there can be some synergies which will benefit both sides. But the food inflation is about growing more, and it's about eating local. I think a lot of your people do that. In Trinidad, we're beginning to do a lot more of that.
Up next, San Antonio villagers receive new water meter system.
1,067,700 slices of bacon are eaten by tourists each year, stimulating our local economy. Tourism means business.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered-up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
Daddy, buy me one Carol consomme.
Mr. Sam.
You want egg? Oh, you want Carol consomme.
Aha!
Carol Consomme. The best taste and the best price. Less fat, more flavor. Taste the savings. Love the flavor.
Available at your favorite supermarkets near you.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
The UDP's mayoral candidate in Belmopan is offended by the truth. And the truth is that she and the UDP councillor candidates are John Saldivar puppets. But Belmopan residents should also not forget Jacqueline Burns was deputy mayor of the UDP Belmopan City Council. Remember when the hilltop was sold? We still don't know the full truth about that deal or where the money went. Burns was a deputy mayor when the UDP Council parceled out Belmopan's reserved land to cronies. Burns was there when the UDP Council gave away an existing street right under the noses of Belmopan residents. She was there when the UDP Council gave away the Isadora Beaton Stadium to the Belmopan bandit himself. Under the UDP, that stadium was controlled by John Saldivar, like his personal playground. Burns was part of the whole UDP mess. Remember that. In March, in Belmopan, and in every municipality, stay on track with the PUP.
Residents of San Antonio Village are transitioning from a water board system to water meters on every property in the community. Faced with a shortage of water supply, the Ministry of Rural Transformation partnered with the Belize Social Investment Fund to dig wells in the community in hopes of establishing a new water source. But after drilling 5 wells, it was concluded that there is not enough water underground to sustain the growing population. As a result, a water expansion project to place meters on every home was introduced. To date, 396 water meters have been installed, ensuring a flow of clean, potable water directly to these households. The system was officially handed over to the community today. We heard from Village Chairman Daniel Koch, the Executive Director at SIF, Carlos Tun, and Minister Oscar Requena.
When we took over and took office, we inherited a fat electricity bill at the water board. So the chairman, Mr. Koch, the council, sit down, discuss how are we going to reduce that bill. And I must take this opportunity to tell you, the water consumers, that from 25,000, we reduced that bill to 10,000 as we speak. The community is expanding, so we need more water. So what the minister says, you know what, since we cannot find the well, we cannot find a good source, what about implementing the meter system? And everybody was up for it. It was an exciting news. So we started to work towards it.
I would like to express our gratitude to all stakeholders, including the dedicated project team of SIF, the community members, and the funding entities that made this initiative possible. The total investment for this project, provided through funding from the Curriculum Development Fund, amounted to just over $184,000, a testament to the value we place on ensuring access to clean water as a basic human right.
And I want to say that in November of 2020, you decided, you went to the polls and you said, Oscar Requena, we're going to give you an opportunity, to represent us, to fight for us, to work for us. And I want to say to you that I am deeply humbled for the privilege and the opportunity that you have given to me.
If you've noticed an increase in new waste containers and no dumping signs recently, it may have been part of the Department of Environment's Have Civic Pride anti-littering campaign. Today, the campaign was strengthened after the Department and Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing collaborated to address the issue of garbage and pollution along our roadways with a donation of new cleanup equipment.
The Have Civic Pride anti-littering campaign has been an ongoing initiative led by the Department of the Environment for the past few weeks. Several endeavors, such as the implementation of new waste bins dispersed throughout Orange Walk and Corozal towns, the erection of multiple no dumping signs, as well as the training of traffic wardens from the different town councils to issue littering tickets, have been executed as a part of this campaign. Today, the newest endeavor was launched when the DOE donated 15 new weed whackers to the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing's Road Maintenance Unit.
With these 15 weed cutters at a value of close to $18,000, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing has a very good program in cleaning up the highways, and we want to show our appreciation and collaboration with that project, and also to strengthen the project and program that we have with the Department of Environment to do these cleanup campaigns, but also we have a Have Civic Pride campaign initiative, which we want to spread throughout the rest of the country. So in recent months, you will see some expenditures on advertisements, on placards and billboards, and reaching out to the schools through education programs.
Minister Habet also explained that in an effort to deter people from littering, stiffer penalties will be implemented for those caught doing so.
One of the things that we want to do is not only to have that information and education campaign, but also to have the complement of doing the monitoring through an enforcement unit, because if you don't have the enforcement to go along with it, then it will not be successful. So we are partnering with the traffic department, with the municipalities for training, and also to empower them to be able to issue tickets for fines, and was speaking to the chief environmental officer that we can also have some conversation with the magistracy, so that when somebody is caught littering, instead of just giving a fine, possibly to ask them to have a community service program where they will be, instead of a fine, they will have to do community service.
Evandale Moody, Chief Engineer at the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, expressed the ministry's appreciation for the donation as well as its hope for the campaign moving forward.
Today we are very pleased to be receiving these bush cutters from the Department of Environment. It will surely go a long way in assisting us in our road maintenance. We have been doing an intense amount of work on all our main highways, and we've also been assisting in areas where you have the hot spots that the minister has alluded to, in cleaning up those areas as well. What we've found out is that over the years in doing the road maintenance, that as soon as we start picking up the garbage, there continuously have been people distributing garbage, again throwing them through the vehicles. And so when we pick up 100 bags in a day, the following 2 weeks we have another 150 bags to pick up. And so with the assistance of DOE, we were able to get some garbage bags and safety vests as well last year, which we're very appreciative of. But this continuously becomes a problem for us in the road maintenance, which we have to execute on a regular basis. And so we would just like to appeal to the public to have some civic pride in keeping your garbage in your trucks or keeping your garbage in your cars and disposing of them when you reach home. Because yes, we're there to maintain the highway, but we cannot continuously be picking up garbage all over the main highways that we have.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.